Welcome to Flip Lesson 55 for the 6th grade. Today we're going to start looking at adding and subtracting fractions that start with denominators that are not common. Now, of course, the rules of adding and subtracting fractions tell us that our denominators need to be the same. So in this case, we have a 3 and a 6, which are not the same. So how are we going to go about changing our fractions so that we can actually add these together? And in the end, we want to find a common denominator. And to get a common denominator, in the end, we're just going to multiply by 1. For example, if we look at the number 3 and 6, we see that there's a relationship between 3 and 6. They have a common multiple of 6. To get that common multiple of 6, right, that would be 6 times 1. And if I do it to the bottom, I need to do it to the top. Over here, to get this to equal 6, I'm going to go 6 times 2. And if I do it to the bottom, I need to do it to the top. However, when I look at what I'm multiplying by, in the end, I'm really just multiplying by a fraction that is equal to 1. So in the end, if I go 1 times 2 equals 2, and 2 times 3 equals 6, and then 1 times 1 equals 1, and 6 times 1 equals 1, in the end, I have a fraction of 2 6 plus 1 6. And now I can solve for this. Right? Denominator stays the same. 2 plus 1 equals 3. And then I'm going to reduce to 1/2. And by using the number 1, I'm able to get a common denominator to solve for this. So you see how I multiplied by 1, right? To get a common denominator of 6. Let's try another example. This one, of course, is subtraction, so you got to remember the signs as you're working with this. But we look at the relationship between 2 and 10. Is there a common multiple? And I know that 2 times 5 equals 10. So if I set that up, if I do it to the bottom, I want to do it to the top. And for this to equal 10, that would just look like that. Technically, you don't have to show that you're going over 1 if you understand that relationship. But then, what are we going to do? 5 times 1 equals 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. Now we're going to subtract 1, 10. And because we now have common denominators, right, denominator stays the same. 5 minus 1 equals 4. And then we can look at our final answer and say, can this be reduced? Yes, I can divide by 2 from both of these. And dividing by 2, suddenly I have 2 fifths for a final answer with this problem. So we have these steps. So finding common denominators. By finding common denominators, we can compare 2 fractions, we can add and subtract 2 fractions, and we can go about this process. So that is lesson 55. Here are a couple sample problems to get you on your